Well, good morning, YouTube. It's back. And boy, do I have some stories for you guys.
So are you recording all of the nefarious activities?
If you're new to the channel, my name is Dan, and this is my garage. Well, this is our shop, and that is our Lamborghini Huracan, which is for sale. It has been the single most difficult car we've ever had to sell. I hate that car. We are losing many tens of thousands of dollars on it because we bought it right when the market was turning for the worst and no one wants to buy it. So let me tell you all about this thing and the story behind it. Yeah, so let's go into that first. How did we end up with this car? Well, we had a McLaren 720S that was actually gorgeous. And someone wanted to trade it in on it. And so we said, okay, normally we really don't like modified cars. I should say certain types of modifications. A simple exhaust change, not a problem. Lowering springs, pretty common. When you start doing stuff like wings and, carbon fiber body stuff and whatever, we generally don't like that stuff. Anyway, in this particular case, we really wanted to get rid of the McLaren, so we thought we'd take this thing on trade, and that was a complete mistake. Because, well, like I said, it's just been a nightmare to sell this thing. So many scammers and lowballers and just annoying people. So we actually had it sold. We had a bill of sale that was signed, and we had a deal to buy this thing and a deposit. And the dude said he wanted to get a PPI. And here's the thing about PPIs is that from a dealership perspective, they're very annoying because you don't know what you're going to get. Sometimes they do really good PPIs and they're very thorough, and other times they get really shitty PPIs and they don't know what they're doing. It's a Lamborghini. There's not a whole lot of people that do PPIs on Lamborghinis in Austin, and the guy wanted us to take it to Lamborghini of Austin. So we decided we're going to play nice. We drove it to Lamborghini of Austin, which is quite a drive. Mind you, we've had this car for, at that point, over 4 months and driven it over 1,000 miles. It has not had any issues whatsoever, other than what we already disclosed, which is the check engine light due to the catalytic converters being removed. It goes to Lamborghini of Austin, and magically, the next day shows up with limp mode. I don't know. I mean, it's entirely possible that it just showed up with limp mode the next day. It just was crap luck on our part. So obviously that probably deterred the potential buyer. But anyway, so they had it for a couple weeks trying to figure out, which is stupid because basically all they're doing is phoning home to Lamborghini and waiting for them to respond, and the rest of the time the car is just sitting. Once they come back, they don't really know exactly what's wrong with it. They want to do a tune and all this stuff. At this point, we're not really wanting to sink more money into this because that wasn't part of the agreement. And so we get it back, we take a look at it, and guess what? Limp mode goes away. But it doesn't matter. The buyer doesn't want to buy it at this point. He wants to back out. At this point, we're like, okay, that's fine, but we're not giving you your deposit back because that's the whole point of the deposit, is to make sure that you buy the car. And it's also to make sure that we're getting compensated for our time. That was 3+ weeks of interest that we're paying on this car, of insurance, of all that stuff. Well, he immediately goes to the wonderful place of, I'm going to sue you and all that stuff. So we decided after discussing it, we're like, it's just not worth it. It's not worth the fight. Let's just give him his money back. So whatever, that's kind of what you figure for just our crap luck with this thing. Well, then I have to relist this thing for sale, and we get the same old stupid crap that we were getting before. Scammers, lowballers, all that stuff, all bag of chips and $20 and stupid stuff like that. But then we got something really awesome that made me so happy. It was hilarious. We've got a guy who is, have you ever seen the movie Catch Me If You Can?
Dr. Connors to the ER. Dr. Connors to the ER.
There is a kid who is 19 years old trying to buy this car from us and trade in an 812 GTS. Now, normally that's nothing suspicious except for the fact that he's 19. But it does happen, trust fund babies, whatever. We're like, sure, we absolutely would love an 812 GTS. And he wants to sell it for only $550,000, which is, for an 812 GTS, very, very reasonable for a trade-in. That means we could probably make $30,000+ on that car, probably sell it for $580, maybe even $590. It's a pretty well spec'd. It does have a decent number of miles, 6,500, which is kind of high for that car, but no big deal. Well, we go back and forth over the phone, and things are looking interesting, like this might happen. And so I'm just like, you know what, I'm going to try and get a little bit lower. So I throw out, hey, you know what, we like the deal, but what if we buy it for 500? Hems and haws for about 30 seconds and goes, yeah, okay, we'll get it to 500. That to me was a huge red flag. No one on earth is going to sell an 812 GTS for $500,000 flat unless there's something catastrophically wrong with it or they're full of shit. So at this point, we're like, okay, so we really start Googling the VIN, trying to figure out what is up with this car. Why is it trying to be sold for so little? Then I take the guy's name and I Google that. And that's where the fun gets so good. I looked at the guy's Facebook profile and, you know, that's how we figured out he's a 19-year-old kid. Well, after Googling his name, he has been arrested and charged with multiple felonies for impersonating a physician's assistant. No kidding. This kid did a full Catch Me If You Can, pretended to be, by the way, sorry about the spasming light. I know that's really annoying. So the kid had been for months dressing up in scrubs and pretending to be a doctor or physician or whatever in a Corpus Christi hospital.
Bailey was arrested in June, and after being released on bond, he was arrested yet again just a month later after 192 violations of a GPS tracking system. From there, he was released on bond yet again in October, and in December pled guilty to a third-degree felony of physician's assistant without a license.
So he got arrested for it and convicted and got deferred adjudication and all this stuff. So I don't know what's happening with that right now. We might play this out a little bit further to see how long we can just play his little game. The curious part is, does he actually have the 812 or not? And if he does, how did he get a hold of this 812? Now, obviously, we would never take that car in trade just because of the situation. Like, we could end up with stolen property and totally losing our ass. So we are no way in hell going to do a deal with this guy. Just, nope, sorry, no. You have a history of committing fraud. Oh yeah, and he also got charged with fraudulently, somehow he did some sort of wire fraud or something. I don't know exactly what, and ended up buying a BMW with this fraudulent money. So yeah, obviously someone who has that history, we're not selling any cars to, period, no matter what. Definitely not giving him any money, and definitely not taking any property from him because it's almost guaranteed to be stolen. So we're gonna try and see if we can get that, just drag him on a little bit further and update you on the story. But here's the only, I guess, good news. We have a buyer for this car who's flying in today to come look at it. So we need to take it to the Howard, go get it a bath, and show it to him, and hopefully they agree to buy it. The downside is, again, this is why we do deposits. We had to lower the price. So now we're getting our ass kicked even further. So, yep. It's interesting because in the car business, when you get a new car for sale, you have to sell it immediately, because it's like if the car sits around for more than a couple months, they get stale, and then people start just getting weird about it. This thing's been a nightmare. It just needs to go away at this point. It's just taking up space and tying up our money and causing stress. Just stress, man. So annoying. Well, anyway, I'll update you guys with more stuff. Hopefully this thing is finally gone for reals. If so, we'll celebrate by losing a bunch of money. Anyway, shop's coming along, so stay tuned for more videos on that. I just got 24 tons of gravel and dirt that I need to dispense, so that's going to be interesting. Like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. We'll be doing more cool car stuff. Hopefully less scams. It'll be sweet. Hey YouTube, just an update on the Huracan. So I was editing the video for it, and it's actually the next day from filming it, and it did sell. So the guy that I was talking about, he flew out, took a look at it, test drove it, and liked it, and went straight to the bank with Josh, got a cashier's check, went to our bank, we got the title, sent him, so he's got the signed title and everything, and then supposed to have a transport coming to pick it up today. So it is officially sold. And I know you're probably asking, well, how much money did you actually lose on that car? Well, we lost $40,000 on that car. Nothing says running a business successfully like losing $40,000 on a single car. Yeah, having a dealership's so easy. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next video. It's going to be sweet.